interesting one to enter. Let's go back to the audience. Diane Carlson, she's from Englewood, Colorado. She runs a group that aims to protect kids as marijuana becomes legalized. She's a Republican, but she is still undecided in this race. Diane, what's your question?
Thank you. Governors, there's been very little understanding of the differences between low to zero THC potency marijuana that's been associated with helping kids with seizures and helping adults with pain, which is completely different from the high THC pot that has become the norm in Colorado. And we know that it's our understanding that you're supporting full-blown nationwide marijuana commercialization. And I'd like to know the specific steps that you'll take to ensure that our nation's youth are educated on the risks of today's high-potency pot, and also wanted to know if you'll be supportive of potency limits on all forms of marijuana.
Well, you're talking about kids with seizures, and I was talking with a researcher in Washington State where a young lady, 12-year-old, was having 300 epileptic seizures a week. She was given 40 milligrams of CBD, and the seizures went from 300 to 30. Right. But then she was given whole plant CBD, whole plant, which contained THC, and the seizures went to 2. So that's something. You know what we need to do is deschedule marijuana as a class 1 narcotic. There needs to be research and development on marijuana. And in no way are we supporting kids being able to use marijuana. In no way, shape, or form.
Should there be limits on the potency?
Well, but as I was just pointing out, because CBD doesn't contain any THC, legislatures around the country are embracing it because it's a dramatic improvement, 300 seizures to 30 seizures. But if you go to whole plant CBD, which contains THC, the seizures may be eliminated completely.
But Governor, you're talking about CBD oil, which is completely different than THC. And THC, it is what has been associated to be harmful for developing brains. And I personally am very sensitive. My own son had over 80 seizures a day, and I went through that same experience, and I totally understand the desperation of a family to find any cure.
Sure.
But that marijuana that you're talking about that's tied to Charlotte's oil, that's what's been on the national media, is completely different than the majority of the pot being sold in Colorado today. And it's been very difficult and very confusing to educate on the harms of marijuana in our state because there's a perception that it's completely harmful when we've got marijuana that's up to 95% THC concentration levels, which is unprecedented.
You know, in Colorado, there were increases in marijuana-related hospital visits, apparently traffic deaths, school suspensions. How would you deal with other sort of follow-on effects?
Actually, overall, Anderson, all the statistics were pointing north. Not significantly, but all the statistics were actually north. You may be pointing at some aberrations within that.
Yeah, there was a Northwestern University and University of Colorado study about ER visits rising by 44% after marijuana was legalized 2012 to 2014.
I just think that so much research and development needs to take place that hasn't taken place, and that marijuana products deal or compete directly with legal prescription drugs that statistically kill 100,000 people a year, and there are no documented deaths due to marijuana. And that that concern that you're expressing needs to be taken into account.
There have been some deaths in Colorado, and there is some really concerning data coming out.
But essentially you're saying more studies should be done.
Absolutely, yes. Something that by descheduling marijuana as a class